Okay, so we're going to complete our notes organizer for Islam in-depth studies theme number 2, which is sacred text. So you should have either printed or you can fill it in electronically the notes organizer template, which should be right above this doctrine in the module. All right, so and again, this will be useful notes for the assessment and for if you're in the IB cohort studying for paper 2. All right, the Holy Quran equals recitation. It literally means recitation because Muhammad was ordered by the angel Gabriel to recite. It is the literal, underlined, eternal, final Word of God. It confirms the Torah and the Gospels, but corrects perceived corruptions in doctrine, like, for example, Jesus' divinity. There are 114 surahs, chapters, generally from the longest chapter to the shortest chapter. The Medinan, which were the later recitations, are the longest, and the Meccan, which were the earlier recitations, are the shortest. It lays out a Quranic universe with 2 kinds of beings, corporeal beings, humans, made essentially of mud, and 3 kinds of spiritual beings, angels, jinns, and demons. Angels are made of light. They are unquestionably they're incapable of doing bad. They're good. Demons are inherently evil. They are made of fire. And jinns can go either way. They can be good or bad, and they are made of smokeless fire. There are 5 Quranic themes. Social justice is one. The Quran institutionalized in zakat and other things this idea of social justice, no usury, no lending money for interest, and so on. Gender equality. Men and women are equal before God. I've laid out the Quranic surah and verse. And theme number 3 is love and justice in families. This is not a quote from the Quran. It's a quote from the Hadith. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The best among you is the one who is best to his wife." Number 4, religious tolerance. There's to be no compulsion in religion. And the Quran celebrates diversity. Allah said, "I have made you into tribes and nations so that you might get to know one another." Theme number 5 is struggle, jihad, which can mean violence to defend those who are oppressed. But more importantly, the greater jihad is the struggle against one's ego, which must be struggled against in order to submit to God, the whole point of the religion. Violence is a lesser jihad. Continuing on, the Quran lays out rules for war, which is one kind of jihad. The New Testament just says, turn the other cheek, but the Quran says, well, that's not realistic. So sometimes we have to fight for justice, and so it lays out some rules. War must be proportional, and peace is Allah's preference. There are these sword verses about, go kill the enemy, go kill the infidel, but they're misinterpreted by both Islamophobes and Islamic terrorists. The context usually explains them, and the New Testament has its own sword verses, which can be explained for the most part by context. Reciters who memorize the Quran are titled Hafiz, which means protector, because they're protecting the Quran, they're preserving it, because they're memorizing it. The rules of tajweed, how you move your mouth and your tongue, the technical rules of recitation, they preserve the original sound of the Quran. The Quran sounded a certain way when the Prophet Muhammad recited it, so tajweed is to get the sound exactly right. The Quran must be heard ideally in the original Arabic. And the Arabic cannot be replicated in translation. It's more than just words. Submission to God is necessary because humans struggle between good and evil because of Iblis. Iblis is the angel who God ordered his angels to bow before men, his Adam, this wonderful new creation he's made. Iblis refused and was cast out, becomes Shaitan, and initiates this war between good and evil. He's also sort of the personification of disobedience to God. By the way, Iblis in Judaism and Christianity, Iblis's counterpart is the angel Lucifer. The Hadith. That's all we're going to say about the Quran. The Hadith is the biographical literature about the Prophet. It has many purposes. It's a second source of authority after the Quran for Sharia, which is Islamic law. It explains Quranic passages which are general or concise. It says in the Bible, for example, thou shalt not kill. Well, Jews want to know what that means. Muslims want to know the details as well. It provides context. The time and place of revelation can help understand the verse. Provides specifics about Islamic rituals like prayers, the Hajj. Islam is orthopraxic, and you need the details to get the ritual right. Important biographical source on Muhammad. After all, Muhammad is the perfect exemplar for how we submit. His sunnah, his example, is contained, much of it is contained in the Hadith. It explains specific doctrinal points, details about the system of beliefs. This is especially true for Shia Hadiths regarding the doctrine of the Imamate. In class, in the physical class, I read a little bit from Al-Bukhari's The Authentic Collection. This is a very respected hadith. It's just one of 6 Sunni hadiths that are considered canonical. And of course, there are those that are not considered as reliable that people use. And there's a whole system of Shia hadiths as well. And that is your organizer.